And behind the scenes, when it comes to negotiating, it actually worked in my favor because, number one, there was nothing in place for me to step in the ring and say, yeah, we're going to get it on next, because that was not the truth. I'm not here to lie to anyone. I'm not here for hype. I was there on a scouting mission. I wanted to see, this is the guy that I want to fight.
In a 12-week training camp instead of a 6-week camp, which I usually do for like Wilder or White or Chisora. I usually do 6 weeks.
So for Arslan Makhmudov, that's the right way to pronounce it, right? Yeah. I would have preferred to have seen a stoppage, because I always believe, if I'm watching from a fan's point of view, I just like to see someone flatlined on the floor, because it shows greatness in the guy. You know, when you chop the king's head off, I wanted to see that, and I just didn't see that day. He went a good 12 rounds, but the positive in that was just to show he was conditioned. But I just think you really want to take these guys out, and I didn't really see any intent at any moment to try and hurt.
Don't get concerned over a man's ability, because that's his God-given talent. He's strong and he can punch hard and knock men out. I'm going to run away from you around the ring, like boxing away.
Because there's a lot more fights to happen, a lot more big fights. It's one of the defining fights of this era, because with me and Fury, it can't be the only one.
It finally happened. The face-off that British boxing has been waiting an entire decade for. Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua stood in the same room, eye to eye, and the atmosphere was absolutely electric. Two generational talents, two British icons, finally sharing the same stage. This press conference was not just a formality. It was the opening shot of the biggest fight this country has ever seen.
So than that, because any fighter can come to the ring looking in shape, it's what it means to him. It's kind of the same as Rico, what it meant to him to fight Alexander Usyk. It wasn't just about being prepared physically, it was also what it meant to him.
Deontay Wilder was the biggest punter in heavyweight boxing, but I beat him. I knocked him out, so I take that crown. I'm the biggest puncher in heavyweight boxing. Me.
And Francis?
Anthony Joshua talking about becoming a beast and a killer in that ring. And the frightening thing is, you genuinely believe every single word of it this time. The clarity, the focus, the hunger. This is not the Anthony Joshua who froze against Usyk or crumbled under pressure. This is a man who has gone deep inside himself and found something dangerous. And Tyson Fury is going to feel every bit of it.
And I can take myself out of my body and not be personal and be like, I'm sitting ringside. Who do I want to see in that ring? I want to see a killer. I want to see a beast in that ring. So why? It's my time to do it. Let me be that person.
Has that always been there, or do you feel like you've unlocked something in the last 12 months?
Everything, it
I
always
feel like
developing.
that's always kind of been there with you.
Always, but it's always developing, pushing, and working hard. I'm working.
Duke McKenzie making an absolutely massive statement there. Anthony Joshua hits harder than Tyson Fury. And when you look at what that right hand has done throughout his career, you simply cannot argue with it. One clean shot. Lights out. That is the threat Tyson Fury has to think about every single second of every single round he spends in that ring with Anthony Joshua.
To AJ. AJ hits harder than Tyson Fury, in my opinion. Look at what he's done. AJ destroyed Ngannou, knocked him cold. AJ destroyed Jake Paul. I think he shattered his jawbone, broke his jawbone with one shot, which will tell you just the power that he's still got. I believe AJ will show up psychologically because he's so used to what Tyson Fury does outside of the ring in the build-up to a fight. The trash talking, the walking out of press conferences, the turning up late at press conferences, all of the shouting that always goes on before a Fury fight. Once that circus comes to town, you know what to expect. Now, AJ should be seasoned enough now, psychologically, to know what to expect from Tyson Fury. Equally, Tyson Fury knows what to expect from AJ. So the question has to be asked, who turns up on fight night and who can implement what on fight night? And as I've already stated, AJ's right hand, this big old right hand that he throws, if he connects with it, lights out. So if Tyson Fury can't turn the clock back, I'm not saying he hasn't got one last big one in him, he may just need AJ to bring this last big victory out in him.
John Fury, the man who raised Tyson Fury, who has watched his son become the Gypsy King and conquer the world, is sitting there telling you Anthony Joshua could landslide Tyson on points and could even knock him out. That is not a small thing. That is Tyson Fury's own father giving Anthony Joshua genuine credit and genuine danger. And the final line says it all. Both boys are gentlemen. May the best man win. Even in the Fury camp, there is a deep respect for what Anthony Joshua brings to this fight.
Like I say, if AJ uses his skills, he'll landslide him on points. If he gets involved, it could be different. You know, but AJ, he's had a lot of experience. You know, two-time world champion. I think that's enough to see him through. And he can box. He looked hard and fast last time. You know, if he keeps moving, keeps behind the jab, you know, looking for angles, creating angles, I don't see a problem. AJ could knock him out as well. But in Ngannou, if you let your mind run away with you and you get tangled up and forget and lose focus, you'll be on the canvas. He's that dangerous. And by the way, both boys are gentlemen, by the way. You know, may the best man win.
Amir Khan has been around elite boxing his entire career, and he is buzzing about this fight just like the rest of us. He tips Tyson Fury, but he is not dismissing Anthony Joshua for a single second. And that mention of everything Anthony Joshua has been through personally in the build-up to this, losing people close to him during training camp, that adds a whole other dimension to the story of this fight. Anthony Joshua has had to dig deeper than boxing just to get to this point. That kind of pain either breaks a man or it builds something truly unbreakable inside him. And from everything we have seen recently, it looks very much like it has built something extraordinary inside Anthony Joshua. Amir Khan calling it a mega fight is the understatement of the decade. This is the biggest heavyweight fight Britain has produced in a generation, and the whole world knows it.
Fight, what a fight it is. I still think Tyson could take it, but AJ is looking strong. I want to see how AJ is going to be coming back now, you know what I mean? Obviously he's gone through a lot as well with his loss of his friends and everything else in training camp. But look, I'm sure it'd be a mega fight. What a massive fight it'll be.
Max Kellerman absolutely nailing the pressure dynamic of this fight. Tyson Fury walks in as the favorite, and that is precisely what makes this dangerous for him. Anthony Joshua has nothing to lose and everything to gain. A win for Anthony Joshua does not just add to his legacy. It rewrites it completely. It silences every single critic who has spent years focusing on the bad nights and ignoring the brilliant ones. This is Anthony Joshua's chance to define himself forever.
So Fury comes into this fight really with everything to lose. He's expected to win. That should allow AJ to fight a looser fight than he would otherwise. Like in this scenario, not that it's as extreme, but AJ is the Jake Paul and Tyson Fury is the AJ, in the sense that, man, it's bad for Tyson Fury at this point if he's upset by Anthony Joshua. And think about what it would mean for Anthony Joshua's legacy if he would win this fight. Like, it would finally prove the naysayers, and I'm looking at you, Shady, I know you're watching somewhere, it would finally prove the naysayers wrong about Anthony Joshua, because people love to focus on the lowlights of Joshua's career, not at the highlights of his career.
Eddie Hearn laying out the roadmap, and the message is crystal clear. Anthony Joshua feels ready. Not just physically ready, but ready in every possible way. The timeline is aggressive and the preparation is intense, but when you hear Eddie Hearn speak with that level of confidence about Anthony Joshua's condition and mindset going into the biggest fight of his life, you sit up and take notice. This is happening, and Anthony Joshua is coming fully loaded.
The offer that we've received from His Excellency is to fight in July and then fight Tyson Fury around November time. We're up for that. Physically, we need to make sure, I was looking on the way up here today about the timings. The last Saturday in July is 14 weeks away, right? We need to get that all clear physically to return to full-time training, full-time, as Darren knows, sparring, which is a different kind of kettle of fish versus turning up and getting on a treadmill and doing your oxygen check. Like, this is intense full-time training. We believe we're going to be given the all clear to do that because AJ feels like...
Jamie Carragher spotting exactly what we all saw at that press conference. Anthony Joshua was composed, cool, completely in control of himself, while Tyson Fury was doing what Tyson Fury always does. And Carragher gives the win to Fury on fight night, but his observation about Anthony Joshua being coolness personified is massive. Because that composure at a press conference of that magnitude tells you the mental preparation has been done properly this time around.
Yeah, we're desperate to see this, and I don't think it won't be, both fighters in the pomp. There'll be no titles available. It'll just be for the British public, won't it? I would imagine. I thought, Tyson Fury in the ring. That's Tyson Fury being his normal self. I thought Anthony Joshua handled it really well, and that's him. Coolness personified, but
who wins it?
I think Tyson Fury as well.
The greatest heavyweight on the planet right now picking Anthony Joshua to win, and then dropping that reminder that Anthony Joshua beat Usyk once already, just to make things even more interesting. Alexander Usyk does not give empty opinions. He has been in the ring with both of these men, and he is backing Anthony Joshua. That has to mean something very significant going into this fight. When the man who beat Tyson Fury and was beaten by Anthony Joshua says Anthony Joshua wins, you listen very carefully indeed.
But can Fury beat Joshua?
AJ win. Hey, the belly. Where is he? AJ beat you.
Francis Ngannou has actually been in there with Tyson Fury and pushed him to the absolute limit in one of the most dramatic heavyweight fights in recent memory. So when Ngannou speaks about Tyson Fury, you take every word seriously. And his breakdown here is fascinating because he is essentially telling you that this fight has two completely different outcomes depending on how it unfolds. If it goes the distance, Tyson Fury wins on points. But if Anthony Joshua lands that right hand early and gets the finish, then the whole story changes overnight. That is the knife edge this entire fight sits on. Ngannou himself knows what Tyson Fury's chin can take, and he is still giving Anthony Joshua a genuine knockout chance in the early rounds. And for Anthony Joshua, who carries that kind of power naturally and has been building towards this moment his entire career, that early knockout window could be the most important thing that happens inside that ring on fight night. Nearly a decade in the making, and Francis Ngannou is telling you it is genuinely 50-50 depending on one single moment. That is what makes this fight absolutely unmissable.
Yes, I think we've been waiting for that fight for almost 10 years now, for almost a decade. So finally happened.
And what do you think? Which of them do you think will win?
Well, again, at this level, I think it's very close. Everybody can win. And then it depends on how the fight goes. I think if it's going to be like go to decision, I give the decision. I will pick Fury if this fight go to decision. And then if it's like a knockout, I think Joshua has a chance early in the round, but as far as the fight goes, it's going to be way off on the...
Simon Jordan being completely and ruthlessly honest, as always, and making some points that are genuinely difficult to argue with. The warm-up curse is a real thing in boxing. Fighters at this level sometimes leave their best performance in the gym before the big night, when they have had a tune-up fight too close to the main event. But the counter-argument is that Anthony Joshua absolutely needed that ring time after everything he went through personally in December. You cannot ask a man to walk into the biggest fight of his life carrying that kind of grief without giving him a chance to get back into his rhythm first. The Jake Paul fight served a purpose beyond just the result, and any serious boxing person understands that. And then Simon Jordan making his personal point about Tyson Fury avoiding media criticism is the kind of thing that adds real context to the circus surrounding this entire fight. Because at its core, underneath all the noise and the politics and the personal grudges, Simon Jordan himself admits it. This fight is a genuine spectacle. It is inevitable. It has to happen. And when even the people who are frustrated with the build-up still cannot look away, that tells you everything about the magnitude of what Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua are about to produce together inside that ring. This is the fight that defines both of their legacies completely and absolutely.
Tyson Fury wants another run out, possibly in July as well, if Anthony Joshua's going to have this one in July. But we got to be careful with this, the old, what's the old saying, the old warm-up curse. You know, when fighters have warm-ups, like these guys at that stage of their career,
we've all accepted, Spence, haven't we? Sorry to cut across you, but we've all accepted that there's no way Anthony Joshua can come into a fight against Tyson Fury, having had a warm-up against Jake Paul, having had the challenges of his personal circumstances in December and the tragedy that goes with that. It would be remiss of him not to have a warm-up fight. So you're in that space anyway.
Totally agree, Simon.
But the interesting thing about this fight is that I look at fights, and we're going to discuss this later on in the show. My view on this fight is it's an inevitability that it has to happen. What it actually means, it means little to me, because whilst I will watch the fight, I'm not going to go and see it. I'm tired of Tyson and his I'm not going to give him more courage than I absolutely have to. I accept it, but the fact he doesn't want to talk to us and engage with us because he doesn't like criticism, I think is crap. So I'm not going to be a hypocrite and go to this fight. The fight in of itself, it's a spectacle.
Right then, let us talk about what is genuinely at stake here, because this is not just a boxing match. This is the culmination of almost 10 years of negotiations, near misses, canceled fights, excuses, personal tragedies, and public theatrics. Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua at a press conference face off together at last. And the atmosphere in that room told you everything. This is personal. This is massive. And this is absolutely happening. What is truly at stake? Everything. For both men. Completely and without question. If Anthony Joshua wins this fight, it is the single greatest redemption story in the history of British sport. A man who was knocked out by Andy Ruiz Jr. in one of the biggest upsets the heavyweight division has ever seen. A man who was outboxed twice by Alexander Usyk and had his very right to be called elite questioned by almost every pundit on the planet. If Anthony Joshua beats Tyson Fury, all of that disappears overnight. Every lowlight gets buried under the greatest highlight of his career. He becomes the man who came back from the darkness and beat the Gypsy King. That is a legacy that no one can ever take away. Duke McKenzie said it. Max Kellerman said it. Even Usyk himself said it. Anthony Joshua wins. And if that right hand lands clean in the early rounds, nobody in the building will be able to argue with a single word of it. But what if Tyson Fury shocks the world? What if the Gypsy King walks into that ring and reminds everyone why he went undefeated for years? Why he came off the canvas against Deontay Wilder when it looked completely impossible? Why he is arguably the most gifted pure boxer the heavyweight division has produced in 30 years. A dominant Tyson Fury performance over Anthony Joshua cements his place as the undisputed greatest British heavyweight of all time. No argument. No debate. Just legacy carved in stone forever. Mentally stronger? That is the question that nobody can answer with any certainty, and that is exactly